Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our live stream, our first, and well, we'll talk about it in a moment. Anyway, we're on Train Sim World 2 this morning. We are going to be doing a service on the Cane Creek subdivision. But before we get started, a couple of housekeeping notes, so to speak. We will only be streaming Train Sim World 2 today. I'm having to move the flight to tomorrow. We're having building inspections today, so I did not want to be in the middle of the stream. They knock on the door, and then there's a bunch of people in the background checking the pipes and the heating systems and whatnot. They may be in and out a bunch of times. I don't know. I'm not going to chance it, but we're going to fly tomorrow instead around Spain. That'll be our only stream tomorrow, and that will be at 6:30 in the morning. So, hey, Chris, good morning. So, before we get started on Cane Creek, and I'm hoping Mick shows up, because there was a question that he asked me about Journeys. Now, Journeys came out with the three routes that came out originally, Sandpatch Grade, Schnellfahrstrecke Köln, and the London Underground. And basically, the way I understood it is that Journeys are kind of a way for you to kind of get used to the route, and allows you, before you get involved in the more of the timetable services. Now, some of the stuff that you do in the journeys will count towards your timetable services. So it kind of gives you a little bit of, it helps you with both. Now, if you look at where it says continue journey, right? And so you don't want to continue if you're playing the journey. Oh, well, nice, Chris. You don't want to continue the journey. You want just below where it says a high-speed connection. Okay, that's what you want to have, and then you click on that. And so basically, the chapters that you do is going to, for both Xbox and PlayStation, it's an achievement. You do 10 chapters, and you get an achievement for it. So, chapter 1 here on the Köln line is introduction experience. So it covers your training stuff, and then some minor minor stuff, but it also covers some of the scenarios. So you're knocking out a bunch of birds with one stone right here. It's a good way to kind of learn the route a little bit, and then eventually you go down in chapter 2 is applying your talent, and there's 4 services here, and then you have all the ice stuff, a rush of speed, and it's just 4 quick services. And then you have this one, which I think is where the weather is going to be. It's going to be raining or it's going to be snowing. It's going to add an element of kind of a weather element to the service that you're going to have to kind of contend with. But it's a good way to learn the route. If you're having trouble kind of learning about it, Journeys is a good way. Now, it's for most people, myself included, once you completed those journeys, you're like, I'm not doing them anymore. I don't do them. I got my 10 knocked out right off the bat. Don't even have to worry about it anymore. So Journeys I think is just a good way of, kind of going over the route, learning the particularities of it. There's not a lot to it except for this rough ride. Obviously, there's way more services here on this one. And you see, I got gold medals, so those gold medals are from the timetable, but they're showing up here in the journey as well. So, if you're looking for a way, if you're new to the game, I highly recommend doing the journey stuff, especially on the initial 3 routes that you get with the game, just so that you kind of get a feel for it. without diving into a huge timetable amount of stuff. And there's only like 34 different things to do. So it's just a good way to learn, I think. And you just get those knocked out, and then you get the but the way it used to be under the timetable sort of stuff, and now it's a separate thing. Good morning, Daniel. And if you just look, it'll say continue journey. You don't want to continue it, and there's a setting. A lot of times it'll take you to the journey, and you don't want to do that. If you're looking for timetable stuff, you got to exit the journey, exit that service, and then because you're like, oh, I want to do freight on a route instead of passenger or whatever. So this is a good way. Like I said, if you go to the actual selection, it will allow you to select which chapter you want to work on. So for the Comb line, I would highly recommend you start here with the introduction and experience. Redo all the training stuff just so that you get that knocked out again. It'll count towards the completion of chapter 1 on here if you're working on those sorts of achievements. Okay. Some people don't care about achievements, but if you're achievement hunting, this is the best way to do it. And then they also have the journey stuff for the London Underground. All this stuff, and then you have so you have 3 different chapters here, and then you have journeys on Sandpatch Grade, and it has additional journeys for the 40-8, the CSX C40-8, which is the precursor to the AC 4400. So you could find just stuff to do that shouldn't, you can spend an afternoon and knock out a bunch of it. But anyway, so Mick isn't here, but I'm going to tell him when he comes in, hopefully soon, that this, he's going to have to go back and watch the beginning. He may be lurking over on Twitch. I don't know, because I do have an extra viewer on Twitch. All right, so let's go over here to Cane Creek. But all of them, all the routes have journeys. So if you're not sure where to start there, and it'll give you a good idea of what. All right, let's get the of course me. I like the weathered version. What is our? Okay, from Brindle to Moab. Okay. All right, I think we can do this one. We'll do this. So we'll get in here and get our locomotive set up. I think he might have forgotten that we were going to talk about this morning. He might still be recovering from FIFA last night. All right. So just like on the AC 4400 and Sandpatch Grade, we're going to do the same, very similar sort of stuff. We're going to go back here, find our distributed power. We're going to turn that on, turn our number lights on. There we go. I like my lights on. Okay, I think we are all set there. And we're going to scoot down here, turn our generator field on. Our gauge lights on. Step lights are already on. And then we're going to come over here and set up our brakes. So 1, 3, F3. If I can get the cursor to go over F3. It's being a little bit fussy this morning. There's your cut in. F4. Lead. F6 to save it. You heard the change. Exit. Alright. Let's just have a look at our switches here. Looks like we're waiting for something to go through. So let's just have a look at our overall train. We do have a banker locomotive at the back, so we're going to switch on our radio. So we have the AC 4400 up front. Just one locomotive in the front. We have something else in the back. I'm not sure what exactly. I'm guessing either another AC 4400 or... Oh, Mick, there you are. You just missed... you're going to have to watch the beginning there, Mick, about the Journey stuff. I covered it for you. Hello, Aussie Sim fan. I'm fine, thank you. Hope you are well, too. Yeah, you just... Oh, there's Pithers. So, yeah, you just missed the whole spiel about the journeys, Mick. I tried to wait for you, but yeah, it's all there in the beginning. It covers it for you, so hopefully that will give you some information on how that all works. Let's just get some desk lights on, because I know we run through tunnels eventually. So as soon as this train clears, we'll get underway here. I think we can go ahead and start releasing the brakes now. Hello, Amela. Reply? What are you talking about? No reply. Alright, let's get moving here. Downhill, so I figured when the brakes released we should have gotten moving, but I guess it needs a little coaxing this morning. Half asleep. Oh, Mella. So yeah, real quick, it will not be flying today. There's going to be building inspections for the heating and water systems from between 10 and 5 today, so yeah, no flying today. We'll do the flying tomorrow instead, first thing in the morning. And then, yeah. Oh, nice, Mick. Good deal. So, yeah, plenty of surprises ahead this coming week. Tomorrow we'll fly in Spain. Monday we're doing the flight around Barcelona. Tuesday we're doing the aerial tour of Savannah with a surprise on Savannah. Once we're done with the aerial tour, I think you're going to like it. It's going to be fun. I'm really excited for it. Yeah, it's going to be a blast. So do hang around. Once we land, we're gonna pop out and we're gonna change planes and we're gonna have a bit of fun in Savannah on Tuesday. Wednesday there will not be a flying stream. We're only we'll do a quick service somewhere on a route because I have an appointment Wednesday. Thursday we'll get back to flying around Spain. Friday we're going to do another special flight. I won't say any more about that. We're trying to add yeah, Friday will be another special flight. I think that's going to be fun. But yeah, I got some good things, I think, on tap for this coming week. Of course, next week, as many of you have heard by now, the Bright Main Line will be out, the last of the 3 routes for the rush hour shenanigans, I'll call it, because that's what it really has boiled down to, has been a bunch of shenanigans from day one, it seems. So yeah, the Bright Main Line will be out soon, coming out. We will do, of course, when it comes out, I will do the training stuff, kind of give you guys a look at that, and then we'll see. I don't know, I'm not 100% confident that it's going to be without its issues. So we'll do at least the training stuff, get that knocked out, and then we'll go from there. And we'll see if there's any issues at all with the route going forward. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot of confidence in Dovetail right now. But that's just, if you do, and that's perfectly within your right to feel confident in their abilities and whatnot. I just don't. But anyway, that's neither here nor there at this point. So we're gonna go to this MK sighting. And we'll wrap it up there. Is YouTube acting up this already? Or is it an air translation? Is anybody else seeing? Is it buffering for you guys or no? Because everybody might need to jump over to Twitch. I don't know. Lately, it just seems like things have been. Oops, and I'm speeding now. Oops, okay. Well, we know the brakes work, that's for sure. So hopefully everybody's having a good Saturday. Looking forward to picking up the flying tomorrow. Hope that whatever needs to be done gets done before Mick and Pulse and Chris are doing their long haul drive today on ATS. very easy to speed on this route, that's for sure. We've got... Oh, we gotta go all the way down to there. That's our destination now. So... I don't think I was, Chris, but when they put a little notice out the other day around the complex that they're going to be doing these, you know, like I would think that would be during the week when most people are at work, and you know, that way your day's not going to be, your weekend's not going to be interrupted. So I think it's kind of crappy that they're doing it on a weekend when most people are trying to be at home and just relaxing. They don't want to be bothered with that kind of stuff. So I thought about it, but I'm just like, I don't know when for sure they're going to come to my part of the complex. But yeah, traditionally Sundays is going to be a non-streaming day for me, so I can just do other things. How much time it's going to take for them to come through and check everything. So I just rather we'll get this done and okay, we'll be here, Daniel. I just rather be safe than sorry and just do the flight tomorrow without any interruptions, hopefully. So anyways, yeah. I was thinking about it as soon as I saw it yesterday. I was like, damn it. I mean, I could, in theory, get the flight done. I don't know. You know. But it could be, because they're saying it's several hours. I don't know how in depth all that stuff is going to be. You know, so yeah. So I just think it's easier for me. Am I looking forward to Bright Main Line? I feel like I'm in one of Joe's streams now. I'm curious, like, I've heard so much about this, you know, it's like one of those routes that everybody's, you know, as I think Joe has said it before too, it's one of the most requested routes in Train Sim World 2. That being said, and I'm glad that people are getting what they want. You know, they asked for it, they're getting it, which is good. But given the track record right now of Dovetail Games releases, Dresden being the most recent one, which is filled with a lot of problems, I'm skeptical of the whole thing. You know, but yeah, I can see, you know, it has been, you know, that was, of all the three routes, you know, some people were excited for the Boston Sprinter because of it played the Northeast Corridor on the previous Train Sim World game. Some people were looking forward to that coming back. So, in that sense, I think they've done a pretty good job with that. But I think that set this, you know, it set the bar, essentially, and people were like, okay, and Amela pointed something out, and, you know, which is true. Nobody asked for Dresden. Nobody cared about Dresden. Dresden could have been released last, and I don't think anybody would have been disappointed. But the focus, of course, for the rush hour was the Brighton Main Line. I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays. I'm looking forward to getting a few different locomotives because there are a few different things that we're getting with the route. Well, but that's the thing is, Pithers, of course he's going to do it because that's a route that he feels very connected to. And it's easier to do that. Like if I just said, well, I'm going to do 8 hours of Peninsula Corridor, well, that's easy for me to do and easy for me to care about because I'm connected to the Peninsula Corridor. So that's why, like I didn't expect him to do the 8 hours on Cathcart Circle. I think that was just kind of one of those things that somebody may have challenged him to it, and he was like, well, yeah, I can do that. But yeah, 8 hours on Sandpatch Grade, for instance, most people would be like, no, that's too much. That's a lot. That's a long time on Sandpatch. So you can't expect that he would do that for all the routes. I think it's easier for him to do something that he's excited about because it's something that he feels personally connected to. So that's why, I think. But it's also part of it too is doing a long stream. You run the risk it gets things kind of flatten out for a while. People are excited at first, but then like by the second or third hour, everybody's just like, okay, yeah, I've already seen this station like a dozen times already. Nothing's really, yeah, this is boring. Okay, I'd rather go take a nap or something, Well, but it's something that he's excited about, and I can't fault that. If a route was coming out that people have been on, whether it's I guess essentially like the home route, for lack of a better term, when it's somebody's home route, of course they're going to be excited. Like, oh my God, finally my home train route is going to be in a game. Of course they're going to be excited about it, but I think that'd be true of anybody. But that's if you are excited about those sorts of things. Not everybody is either. Yeah, I don't think anybody who's ridden this corridor ever thought, oh, I could actually drive it in the game. But part of it too is that a lot of the audience members, Chris, they need that validation. If Joe's excited about it, then it lends credibility to their excitement. It's that whole they want to hear that they and Joe agree on those sorts of things. That's what they're looking for. They want that confirmation from him. Whereas I'm more of the opinion, hey, if you look, there's a certain route that you are particularly fond of, by all means, that's your thing. And nobody should try to persuade you otherwise. But there's also people who cannot stand something like Cane Creek or Sandpatch Grade. It just irks them that such a thing exists. And, well, I would agree, Nick, but it's when you have, I think it's just that sense of connection. And he is a brand, he is an ambassador now. And of course, it's easy to, the centerpiece of the whole thing They could have done rush hour just Bright Main Line alone, and people still would have been, they would have still been excited either way. They could have done out without the Northeast Corridor and the Dresden line. The only one that they cared about, quite obviously, was Bright Main. And the fact that they have to wait for that one to come out last is like just, it's like somebody pulling their nails across the chalkboard. They grind their teeth and are like, oh, how dare they make me wait till the very end of rush hour stuff for this route. It should have been out first. How dare they make us wait for a American passenger route, which most people, I think, again, wanted. They're happy with it, but they're also kind of like, but it's Bright Main Line. It should have been first. It should have been the only thing ever. Period. End of story. Yeah. Yeah, he's been on trains. He's done it on train sim, just to kind of prepare for the release of it on train sim, to give people an idea of what it's going to. I mean, it's not going to look exactly the same, obviously, but it's going to be, you know. So yeah, I think he has done it, but. I mean, and you know, again, I'm not knocking Joe. It's his thing. A lot of the youngsters in the chat are just overjoyed that Joe is confirming their love of the route, and that they've been waiting for this for ever since they were conceived. You know, and you know, and again, there's nothing wrong with that. If you are passionate about it, I hope, I can't stress enough, I hope that Dovetail gets it right. Because if they mess this one up, the anger in every roadmap stream, every other live stream, it doesn't matter what they're talking about, people are going to come in there and they are just going to just dump all over Dovetail Games. I don't think he has. I think it's just that he's, you know, he's happy that something that, you know, that the community essentially has asked for, especially the British train fan community has asked for some time for that route to be added to Train Sim World 2. The only people that are going to mess it up, quite honestly, is Dovetail. The ball's in their court. If they mess this one up, all the anger and vitriol in the chat, not that I want it, you know, like Sam and Matt and Adam and Natalie and the whole team, I don't want, of course I hope that people don't go in there and start talking about that they should die and, you know, yada yada yada. That's just ridiculous. But if it releases in such a state that the services are not exactly playable or whatever, I'm sorry, but you get what you deserve. Because you've made people wait to the very end for this, and if it turns out to be a shit show, for lack of a better term, you're going to get some serious blowback. And you, hello, Railsim, you're going to get that, and you rightfully deserve it. And there's no matter what you say at that point, you're damaging the relationship even further. You can promise that you're looking into all the stuff and all the, you know, the trouble tickets that are going to come with it, and all the copy and paste sort of, you know, responses, the automated responses kind of. It's not going to fix anything. Well, but I, that's just, I don't know what to say to that, Pithers. That's him. That's his thing. You know, that's part of the way he does things. That's, you know, and that's just how some people are. But I mean, it is realistic way. Real life drivers, if they're not going to have a drone kind of shadowing the train and drive out here with all the information. So technically, yes, it is realistic. You're using your gauges. That is realistic. You know, that's technically realistic. And you can rely on your gauges and look at your speed boards and try to maintain within that. But at the same time, that doesn't really lend to streaming, because it's it's a very, you can look the other way for a second, and it's, well, Rail Sim, it's I get that it's slow, but that's just how American freight routes are. You know, they're not fast. I mean, in some sections they are, yes, but they're not designed for speed. You know, that's just how, which I don't understand why he doesn't enjoy playing. Well, again, Pithers, I think he enjoys it when, you know, like when there's other people in there with him, and he can make it a kind of a group effort. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you're Joe is Joe, and Joe's going to do things that, you know, is going to bring a wide variety of people to his channel. Some people like Farm Sim, some people don't. Some people like Bus Sim, some people don't. Some people like truck simulators, some people don't. Some people like the train stuff. Some, you know, like there's there's a wide variety of people that are coming to his channel. And the more stuff that he shows, the more his channel grows. That's the key. That's the whole point of it. You know, that's what he's there to do, is to grow his channel. Well, but Pithers, the thing is, you offered. If he's not interested, that's on him. There's nothing more you can do. You offered to help him learn some stuff, the things that you learned from Pete, obviously. But if he's not interested, he's not interested. There's nothing more you can do about it. You know. The thing is, you did what you thought was right and offered your help, offered to show him some stuff. If he's not interested, then there's nothing more you can do about it. You have to say, okay, well, I tried, and, you know. And some people, they prefer to get their information from other sources. You know, I don't know. But I mean, I don't want it to be like I'm bashing Joe, you know, and I don't think anybody else, you know, he's young, he's grown his channel, he's smart in that way. He sees that there's all these games, and he tries to find stuff that he thinks that the audience, or a wide variety of audience, will like. So in that sense, he's very savvy, I think. Yeah, definitely Pithers. But yeah, you know, like if Mick asks me for help, or if he says, hey, can you show me this, of course I'm going to try to make the time to do it. Now it's up to Mick whether or not he accepts how I go through things. it's still his decision whether it's something he's going to stream or just, whatever. I can make the suggestions. I can show, well, this is what this does or whatever, but it's still up to Mick to decide if he's going to take my advice. I really don't know why YouTube is acting up today. So anyways, I think some people have gone over to Twitch. Maybe it might be a little bit smoother over there. YouTube, it might not be YouTube, it might be Streamcast that's having its little connections or whatever. But I don't fault Joe for he's trying to show a wide variety of things. If it helps a company get some sales, that's great. If people are like, well, I thought about this game, but now that I saw you play it, yeah, no, it's not. So, but again, people, when you're passionate about something, you can try to get people interested in it and explain things and try to hopefully they get excited about it. But if they don't, they don't. That's it's their choice. You've done your part to try to get them interested. But I respect the fact that Joe is savvy enough to, he's not going to, of course, Train Sim World 2 or Train Sim in general is a very, that's the cornerstone of his channel, and he's going to try to, welcome back, Daniel. If people want to watch, it's up to them. Well, and again, that's your choice, Mick. That's the beauty of all this. You play what you enjoy, and if people are interested in it, that's great. If they're not, that's okay too. It's just that he sees an opportunity to show a bunch of different stuff and it's getting his name out there in a way. But it's, but that's, I think part of that is, that's just his developing business sense in a way. He sees a market and he's going to tap into it. Which I can't fault him for that. That's just, it makes sense. But anyway, I'm interested in seeing how it goes. I hope Dovetail Games doesn't screw it up like they did with Dresden, because that's essentially what they've done. Oh, I gotta change my batteries. Oh, crap. Yeah, I had a feeling this was gonna happen. I should have changed before I started, but alright, I'm gonna change batteries real quick, folks. Be right back in a jiff. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Yeah, I can't fault Joe. He sees an opportunity and he's going to take advantage of it. And that's just how the world is sometimes. So anyways, so time's gonna tell. We're gonna know here in 5 days. I had to count how many days it was until it's being released. We're going to know within 5 days if it's a hit or a miss. Now, of course, some people are going to feel that it's a hit. And that's fine. Other people are going to feel that it's not. And that's fine too. I'm glad I found Joe when I did. I'd learned quite a bit watching his streams. He's branched out in a way that I wouldn't have foreseen. You know, but there's nothing wrong. So nice, Chris. Then you get to hobble on home. But I mean, I know that. I mean, I could put links all day into the Discord. Does that mean Joe's going to come in and watch one of my streams? Probably not. And that's okay. Other people, they want him in their streams, right? They push for that, you know, but that's how things are sometimes. Well, and that's good. And again, that's part of his thing, is that you brought that to his attention, and he's like, oh, okay, yeah, we can do this. I'll download it, and he'll play it for a while, and if Dovetail Games gets a few more sales out of it, so be it. If not, then that's fine with them. I don't know. But at some point too, I think there's going to come a point where he's not going to stream as much as he used to, because he's going to start working full time, and and all that. He's not going to have the time to do his streaming, and that's and by then somebody else will come along and do something I don't want to say a better job, but they're going to take over in a way. And I think, for better or worse, Joe, in a lot of ways, helped a lot of people through the lockdowns and stuff. They found a place to hang out, and then they got interested, and they're like, oh, I want to pick up this game because it looks fantastic, it looks like fun, and and that's a good thing. He helped bring people to a game that many people probably would have never known about otherwise. And everybody kind of found each other in the midst of all that. So there are some positives, you know, to what he's done. So, well, that may be the case. You're right, Pithers. It may be a wake-up call for him, but I think he's one of the things that I love the most about Joe is that he's disciplined. You know, like when he was saving up the money for the PS5, when he was getting donations and such for the PS5, he could have easily gotten frustrated and just said, "Screw it, I'm gonna spend the money on something else." No, he stuck to his guns, worked hard, you know, did everything he had to do to get a PS5. You know. And that you know, he's very disciplined in that fact. So I think he's going to be fine, Pithers. Of course, you know, there's a lot of young people who wouldn't be. But I think Joe is the rare exception. And I think with Amanda on his side, or by his side, either or, however you want to look at it, he's going to do great things. I think Amanda sees a lot in Joe, and she's not going to let him slack off. She's going to remind him when it's necessary. So I think she's going to keep him on the straight and narrow. Anywho's, let's move on from Joe. Shall we? I don't know what else to say about it. I do think he's an outstanding young person, and I think he's got a great future ahead of him. Whatever he decides to do, I think he's going to do well at. So, anyways, another thing. So I have another surprise coming up. I'm just thinking about this. I got some surprises for you guys coming up in Flight Sim. We're going to have a lovely flight one day. We're going to kind of go a little bit old school. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're not talking about like Cessna 152 old school. Exactly. That's the great thing. Everybody has their approach to things. And that's what makes streaming great. You can find people that, oh wow, I never thought about it, you know, or in a game like this, most people, there's things that may happen that most people go, oh, I didn't even consider that. Oh, I totally skipped this stuff. You know, everybody approaches things differently. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I don't know that I think, and I'm going to say this, and then I'd really like to move on this thing with Joe. Joe is one of those people that I think there's a lot of things about him, a lot of layers, so to speak, that people don't necessarily see. And he may surprise people sometimes. They may think, oh, if he does this, oh, he won't succeed at it. Oh, no. He may surprise you. Joe's one of those people, I think, that keeps his cards close to his chest. He lets people think whatever they're going to think, and then he may surprise you, players. But anyway, all right. That's the last thing I'm going to say about Joe. I love him, not in a romantic way. I think he's an outstanding young man. I wish there was more people like him in their own way, but that's okay. Joe is Joe, and I accept him for who he is. There we go. All right. Getting back to Flight Sim. I've got another surprise. In store. We're going, like as I was saying, we're going to go old school in one of these flights. Probably with not this coming week, but the following week, or maybe on Saturday. We're going to. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Let's just put it that way. It's going to be a really fantastic flight. You know, when I was looking at the marketplace and all that, I saw something and I'm like, immediately in my mind I'm kind of just thinking about different times in aviation, and you guys can maybe kind of put together the clues of what I'm saying here. If we can get away from the thing about Joe, finally, please and thank you. I think it's going to be a very fun sort of thing. So, take it for what it is. But yeah, so we got some really great stuff coming up within this week. So yeah, it's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully everybody tunes in, enjoys it. We're going to have some laughs as well. We're going to, yeah, we're going to try it. We're going to start trying some more stuff. We will also start flying in whatever weather there is. That's what we're going to fly in. We're not going to always just go for the sunny options. So we're going to start adding some weather to the situation. Not add it, but we're not going to turn off the live weather. We're going to fly whatever it is, whether it's storming or if it's a little bit. Like right now, if I were to fly from Binghamton, it would probably be foggy. It's foggy in real life right now, so in theory, in the game, it should be foggy as well. So, yeah. So, yeah, really looking forward to that. Got some great stuff in store. I think I'm enjoying Microsoft Flight Simulator despite its little headaches as well. The problems there. I'm enjoying that probably a little bit more than I'm enjoying this game. Quite honest. If I were to only do one stream a day, it would be on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Quite honest. Because I've got a better sense right now of what works, kind of, and what doesn't. So I'm hoping that eventually a lot of that stuff gets fixed. and more things we can add in the jetliner stuff again. I don't know. I've not really kept up on all that. You would have to look at the roadmap stuff the past couple weeks or so, if it was included. I haven't really paid attention to it that much anymore, to be honest. I just, after the whole Dresden debacle, I didn't even know, if it hadn't been for Joe's little news video about Bright Mainline coming out soon, and of course I was sarcastic because somebody put in the comments section, "Oh, I knew it was coming out next week. I said it to myself. It's going to be coming next week, so I can predict the future." Shut up. Honestly, I wanted to just be like, I wanted to put their name in and respond to them directly. Shut up. Just shut up. Nobody, like, just... Anyway. Yeah, I don't pay much attention anymore to what, I kind of glance over the roadmap when it comes out. I don't really pay much more attention to it anymore. I think the flying is more... I feel more connected to that now that I do this. Quite honestly. I feel like the flight sim is... I enjoy it a lot more. Not that I'm not enjoying this group, like this is really beautiful and stuff, but it's like... I'm finding more things to enjoy from Microsoft Flight Simulator than I am. Well, I'm trying. I get that. Again, I get that people are excited about Bright Mainline, and they're just like, just they think they're the bee's knees when it comes to all this stuff and yada yada yada. And I'm trying to just let that go, but it's so easy. It's like the old side of me, the old, the Sergeant Brimer side of me comes out, and it's like when some private says, "Oh, I knew we were going to get a 4-day weekend. I said it to myself that they were going to surprise us and give us a 4-day weekend. I knew it. I could read the future." Shut up. Matter of fact, start pushing. Do push-ups for being, just... I don't tolerate that stuff that well. Just, if you're excited about it, fine. But suddenly I can read the future because I predicted this, and oh my god, I got it right. Whatever. Whatever. So anyway, I'm enjoying the flying because there's so much to do. Here there's a lot to do, but it's like, there's so much to do though, it's kind of like, okay, what am I going to do today for a train sim stream? Of course, and again, I get it, a lot of people want to see the fast stuff. That's not, hello Sue. I'm fine, I'm calm. Sue. It's just, there's things that happen sometimes that bring that side out of me that I'm trying to not let come to the surface. And it's not always easy. It's... I don't always like... I try to suppress that side of me as much as I can. Because I know it's going to come across as very... mean. But at the same time, sometimes you can't help it but just go like, okay, I'm going to have to call you out on this because you're so full of yourself that it's like, oh, I knew the next Ferrari is coming out next week, the newest one. I knew it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. I know, Sue. It's just... I don't deal with the... And it's only gotten worse over the past few months, it seems. You know, as people discover different streamers, and they're like, oh, I was just on YouTube and I found your stream, and oh, this is amazing, da 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 da. And that's when the, of course, the reasonable questions come out, and then it gets really ridiculous. What's your favorite route? What's your favorite train? Why do you like that train? I don't like this route. Da 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 da. So, if you don't like a route, but anyway, I know it's just, I don't tolerate. There's a shirt my mom sent me a picture of it, and I gotta order it because it does fit me to a T. I'm a grumpy veteran, and I'm okay with that. I really do. I don't tolerate stupidity, for lack of a better term. I don't tolerate it very well at all. And some people, I get it, they're new and they have a lot of questions, and other people, they've been around for a while, so they should know better. Anyways. I do try, though. I really do. It's sometimes there's only so much you can take before you have to start giving them a little what for. But I was telling Pizzles the other day, there's so many people I've blocked within the last couple of months that it's not even funny. And I don't even, as soon as they post one thing in there, and I'm just like, yep, this is going to be one of those people, I just block them immediately. And I don't even feel bad about it. My list of blocked people has grown. Oh, I forgot. Sue, because normally I do it for Bex, but since Bex isn't here, I'll do it for Sue. Sue's in the house. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't want my stream to be negative and sound like I'm insulting or whatever. At all. I try to accept people for who they are. No matter where they come from in the world or whatever. I try to hope that whoever comes in, that they find some enjoyment here and all that. If they have reasonable questions, I'll try to reasonably answer. Yeah, see, that's one of those questions. As soon as I see, and it's like right in the description, PS5, and I'm like, they don't even, it's like they just ignore it. Because, again, Nick was talking about this the other day. They want their questions read. They want that interaction. They know the answer already. They just want to ask it anyway. Because they get that little tingle in their spine. Ooh, you read my question. I got an answer. Ooh. But it also ruins it for people who busy but relaxing watching with a cuppa. I've got my coffee. It's almost done. I'm almost done drinking it. And I got up a little bit early this morning and had a protein bar for breakfast and made my cup of coffee with my Italian sweet cream. So, yeah. Again, I'm more than happy to try to answer. Like when somebody came in with questions about flight sim or whatever, I'll try to answer the questions as best as I can. But again, I'm on an Xbox. You're on a PC. I can't answer those questions. So, by all means, go to the forums. That's your next best source of information. So, yeah. You know what? You know what we're gonna do? Screw it. We're gonna fly. As soon as we get here, we're gonna pop right over. I'm gonna stop this one. We're gonna restart. We're gonna go flying. I want to fly now. I'm not gonna wait till now. We're gonna fly. Screw it. We're gonna go flying. We're not gonna wait till 9. We're just gonna. Yeah. We're gonna do a back-to-back. So get ready. We're gonna fly in Spain today. Also, so Mick, he's gonna have it today. Or will he have to wait till next week or something? Because if he's gonna have it today, that means you guys gotta get. Well, ATS isn't on the. That's on PC. But yeah, if he gets it today, then yeah, he'll have to get everything moved over to his PS5, plus if he's going to get FIFA 22. Oh, excellent. So yeah, he's going to have to get it all set up and then start downloading FIFA 22 while you guys are doing ATS, I guess. So then he can join you on the pitch. Man, I don't know, Vic. You were angry yesterday in FIFA 22. You were just. It got to a point, Vic, that you got so heated. I was like, "Wow, Vic." You shocked me a bit yesterday, Nick. You got so upset. I did not expect that side of you. Yeah, he was, sir. Yeah. I think, again, if he'd had some cookies and maybe a sip of Southern Comfort, he would have kind of just leveled out a bit. Oh. I was like, wow. You shocked me a bit yesterday. I did not expect that. But I think we all get to those points where we get so frustrated. A side of us comes out that we don't particularly care for about ourselves. I know when I do, I'm embarrassed by it, to be honest. Yeah. It was like a replay of Pithers from Joe's stream earlier in the day. Pithers, I think, was ready to blow a gasket. Mick was ready to blow a fuse. Like, there was just some... Everybody was a bit heated yesterday. Whew. I think if FIFA could have given you a red card for the rest of the evening, They would have. Oh. I would agree with that. You're absolutely right. And that's something that EA has come under fire for, and unfortunately, I don't see them changing their business model anytime soon. And there's been some talks about legislation and all that, and not just in the UK but here in America. I think there's a couple other countries around the world that have talked about introducing legislation to stop. It's basically like gambling in a sense, although many people, kids included, don't see it that way. It is a form of gambling. So yeah, it's well, again, Pitters, it's people make those decisions, and they don't like that somebody may hold them accountable for the choices that they made. They don't want that. I think that's the real. They don't want to do the hard work, essentially. We talked about this thing. Of course it's easy if somebody just, the way I look at it, like when I was in school, if you do C work, you're going to get a C. If you do C work and expect an A, you've got some issues. So if you did C work, you take the C, and then you improve upon it. Because a lot of teachers will say, hey, if I give you a low grade, you could always fix it and resubmit it for a better grade. A lot of people, they do see work and expect that they get an A all the time. And that's not very reasonable. But that's the world we live in now, unfortunately. But I know I did average work, but I want a high grade for my average work. Well, no. Why not? That's not how the real world works. Well, that's not fair. Well, life isn't fair. That's the cold, hard truth. Life isn't fair. Just like if we're working on a team project and I do 99% of the work, and then and I get a raise, and you were like, well, what about my raise? Well, you only did 1% of the work. Why should you get a raise? I'm going to rant again. I don't want to do that. So anywho, yes. So as soon as we park here at MK siding, we're gonna pop right over to Flex and go different. I agree with there's a lot that would. There's some that may do okay, but there's a lot that would not do very well. They would struggle. Yeah, that's true, Mick. I would agree with that. But it's one of those things, some self-awareness and analysis that I sometimes, me personally, I go too far in letting off steam, and then later on when I think about things that I've said or whatever, and it's like, yeah, I kind of stepped takes a bigger person to admit when you've done that. I know I am not a perfect person, and I try to every day be better than I was yesterday. How I deal with people and all that. That's the only thing that I can do. Just like when I stream, I try to be better at the stream today than I was yesterday. And hopefully I am. But it's not a perfect situation either. Because the one variable that I have no control over is the chat, I have control over it, but I never know who's going to come in. And I hope that whenever people do come in, that if things are starting to get a bit, like what was it, a few weeks back when we were on the Oakville subdivision. I know. We had that one person that came in and was telling me about the signals, and I'm like, I get it. I completely understand the signaling system. I've got it under control. And they couldn't accept that fact. They wanted it to, like, I was supposed to acknowledge that their way of doing things was far better than my way of it. What you put in the chat, I read it, I acknowledged it. That's all you're going to get. What more do you want? So, if I say, and I try to say it in a way that I try to get my message across, just come in, take a deep breath. There's a thing, and I have it somewhere still, I think. I have when I was going through training in preparation for deployment, we got these Ranger Medic handbooks. And the number one rule at the top before you do anything else, the number one rule was control yourself and control the situation. Because if you can't control yourself, you're never going to be able to control the situation. Case in point, I tried 4 or 5 other times to get under that bridge there in the UK, right? Okay, I have to take that deep breath, clear my mind, nailed it. So, I try to remember that. If I can't control myself, I can't control my stream. I can't control the situation. Or if people come in and start getting out of control in the chat, despite my best efforts, then okay, I've asked you kindly, you're going to ignore me, I'm going to show you the door. You know, it's like Roadhouse. I want you to be nice until I tell you not to be nice. Well, when will we know? I'll tell you. You'll know. But you're going to be nice until then. So I'll be nice in the stream until somebody comes in and gives me a reason not to. But I'll ask you kindly to, as one of my old NCOs used to say, I'm going to ask you to take several seats. If you won't take those several seats, then you leave me no choice. You're going to be forced to take the several seats, and you're not going to like it. Just like I a bit more. No, dude, I don't want to be the commander. Just to go in there and have fun and enjoy it for what it is. It's okay. Just like, I was gonna say, there's something Amilla said one time. I don't remember what it was now. I lost my train of thought. Oh well. It'll probably come to me later. But anyway. Yeah, I don't. You know, I want to be nice in the stream, but if people come in and start acting up, yeah, I'm going to ask you real kindly to take a chill pill, take a deep breath, relax. If you can't, well, then I'm going to show you the door, and that's going to be it. And that it doesn't matter which chat they're in. Whether it's on Twitch or on YouTube. You know, just like if the person that started getting all fussy in Joe's stream the other day and coming in and, hey dude, sorry for your luck, but there's one of those layers that you do for completing certain things on the, you got the dinosaurs here with the little volcano. That is pretty cool though, I have to admit. Even though the volcano looks a little hokey, but it, yeah, I'd be like, hey dude, sorry, but this isn't a stream where you get to come in and lay all your air your personal stuff out like that. There's plenty of phone numbers you can call and talk to somebody who's a trained professional. And if, honestly, and I want to put this, I'm going to just say it like this too. If you're having problems, you can come in and just chill and take your mind off things for a little while, because sometimes that's the best solution. You stop thinking about things, and then all of a sudden you start thinking about solutions to the problem, right? But if you're really that troubled, I'll be happy to put in the chat resources. You know, 1-800 numbers you can call. All those things you can find, you can Google it, and it'll tell you, and you can call, and it doesn't cost you anything. I'd rather that happen than, you know, the stream, you know, people start feeling very down about stuff, and so, you know, I'd be more than happy to do that as well. But yeah, I don't want people to come in and just dump their stuff on everybody else either. We all have enough going on as it is. And some people are dealing with it pretty well. Other people are struggling. And then you got everybody else in between. So, if I can help point people in a direction that gets them the help they need, I'd be more than happy to do that. But I'm not going to take your baggage on either. Because why I wouldn't expect people to take my baggage on. Alright, we're getting there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Battlefield, Nick. I'm going to, in order for me to do that though, until I can get some additional space, that means I'm going to have to give up the Division 2. I'm going to have to delete it off the drive, make room for new Battlefield. Oh, I got 5 viewers over on Twitch. Thank you all for coming in. We appreciate it. We're coming to the end of this service here. Well, you know, when somebody, you know, Mick, when you said that you want me to be your commander, I remember one night when I was working at the hospital, and I was working on the oncology floor as an aide, and there was we had there was a patient, and I don't remember all the particulars about it, but I think it was like it was like hospice care. It was end of life care, for lack of a better term. And I had interacted with the family very briefly, like, you know, they saw us go through shift change and all of our notes and everything, and things were starting to, the patient was starting to deteriorate a little bit more, but one of the family members, I think it was her son or somebody, maybe, I don't know who they were in particular, but something had happened, and I went in there and took care of things. And so when the family member was getting ready to leave for a while that evening to go home and probably eat dinner, or maybe change clothes, take a nap, whatever the case may be, oh, well, thank you, Aussie Cynthia. The family member said, he came to the desk, the nurse's station, and basically said, you know, I think he was more talking to me than he was the nurse or anybody else. And then just before he turned and left, he said, "Robert, you're in charge." And I was like, no, I'm not. By no stretch of the imagination am I in charge of anything here. I was like, no, I'm sorry, but and I don't think I said it in front of him, but when he left, I was like, yeah, I am not in charge, because if I were, a lot of people would not be very happy. So I am not in charge. Even though there's been times in my life where people have come to me like I'm in charge of something, and I'm like, but the person over there outranks me. The nurse over there, they're in charge of that patient. I am not in charge of anything. I am the aide. I am in the bigger scheme of things, I am nobody. And a patient family member made that very clear to me one night when I was a transporter. I was bringing somebody down, and I was explaining, okay, we're going to go in here. I just need you to wait over here. Well, are you the one doing the diagnostic imaging? I said, no, I'm the transporter. And the family member immediately said, oh, so you're really nobody then. Just like that. Plain as day. Plain as day. Right to my, not like I heard him sitting in the waiting room. Plain as day, right to my face. Turned to me and said, oh, so you are nobody then. Glad we cleared that up. So, yeah. Same thing happened when the last time I was at National Training Center. We were all, this was like the culminating time out in the sandbox. And I'd been out with the forward area refueling team for a couple weeks. All the units got together for the culminating battle, And I'm just getting settled in, and somebody walks in and says, all these things need to happen. And I'm like, but there's somebody higher ranking than me over there. Which told me at that point, they didn't trust that person who outranked me. And that's a very difficult thing to figure out in a situation like that. Well, as I shouldn't say it's difficult to figure out. It's not an easy thing to contend with when somebody says, well, but yeah, but that's the kind of that's the things that people say when scared about losing a loved one or whatever, instead of just saying, well, thank you for explaining things, which would have been the reasonable response, right? That patient said, when they asked who I was, and I said, I just bring the patients to diagnostic imaging. I don't run any of those equipment. I'm just here to bring people back and forth for those inpatient appointments. And the other family member that was with us looked at that person and said, he's not going to harm's way to help somebody. A lot of people felt that was not worthy of acknowledgement. So yeah. But then when somebody says, well, you're in charge. No, I'm not. I am not in charge of anything. Trust me. I am not. I'm not that person. The shift nurse is in charge, technically. But the nurse who's assigned to that patient is in charge. I have to take all directions because I don't have RN after my name or anything else. Despite all my experiences in the military as a medic, there was plenty of nurses who were like, doesn't matter to me. Okay. Then your 30 plus years of experience as a nurse doesn't matter to me either. How about that? We can play that game all day. A lot of the things that I've done as a medic, some of the nurses have done some of the similar things, and there's things that I've done is far beyond what a nurse would do. Like I learned how to do a venous cut down, a different way of administering fluids to a patient. Although that's no longer taught. But yeah. I could do a venous cut down. Nurses, there's a lot of nurses who probably wouldn't be able to. Oh, okay, Daniel. Thank you. Yeah, it's YouTube is acting up for some reason today. I don't think, just things like that. And if I say that, nurses will be like, what's that got to do with anything? I've got all kinds of training. Don't you see any value in it? No. Okay. Cool. At least you're honest, I guess. Yeah, I'm sorry, folks, but Aircast seems to be. Everybody head over to. Well, thank you, Aussie. Everybody head over to Twitch. I think YouTube has got some issues right now, or Aircast does, I should say. Maybe my discussions are upsetting somebody somewhere who's got the power. So, yeah. But I mean, I don't try to toot my own horn. I'm very humble. I try to be. Oh, that sucks, brother. Sorry to hear that. So yeah, everybody head over to Twitch, because I don't know that this is going to last much longer. For whatever reason. But we're going to go flying. I'm going to reboot the system, and hopefully that clears things out. You're always right. Yeah, I figured as much. Yeah, the stream looks a little bit better on Twitch because it's not compressed. But I think the problem is really with Aircast. It's not with YouTube itself. So we're going to try to get this thing parked here expeditiously. This is the Posh channel. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on things here, and I keep an eye on the chat. And again, I try to let those things go, those comments that people made, especially something like that, I'm nobody. But it kind of sticks with you because you're like, wow, here I am trying to help somebody who's sick, injured, whatever the case may be. They're scared. I get that. But when somebody says something like that, it does impact you in a way. Which doesn't suit me. I'm more class than the back. I like watching, when Mick streams, I turn to watch it on Twitch because especially on ATS like tonight, yeah, I'll probably watch it more on Twitch than I will on YouTube because it's going to look. But yeah, we're going to do a quick turnaround. Take a quick bathroom break after we park, and then I'll get the flight sim started up, and we'll go for it as expeditiously as possible. Try to get that flight in before the numpiness starts here. I still can't believe they're doing it on a Saturday. Bastards. It's like being in the military. Oh, the leadership's coming by on a surprise room inspection on Saturday. Yeah, but I'm dealing with a hangover from Friday night. I don't care. We're going to toss your room anyway. Those were the days. Yeah, we had a much horn action today. Do a little toot of the horn. We're coming around this blind curve, it looks like. Well, I do appreciate everybody coming in. This took a little bit longer than expected. Probably would have been done probably about 15, 20, almost half an hour ago. But it was what it was. I guess if I had sped, I could have gotten there a little bit quicker, but then it could have been a little bit more difficult to control the train as we come into our stopping point. Days when we could leave our front door open with no worries. Yes. I've never lived. I can't say that I've ever lived somewhere where that's been the case. The only place that was ever like that. Well, I guess if thinking about it, where my grandparents, my mom's mom and dad retired, when my grandfather retired from Montgomery Wards, the cabin where they moved to eventually, I don't think my grandfather initially ever locked the door, but over a period of time he felt, as there was more people that would come there during the summer or whatever, that he started locking the door in the evening, like you lock up when you get ready to go to bed, kind of thing. But I think initially he never did, but eventually he started to. I don't know that I would ever sleep well if my door wasn't locked, if I couldn't lock it somehow. I'd probably sleep with one eye open. But I wouldn't be very well rested, to be honest. I'd be too worried. Would be the ouch pedal tonight, Nick. Alright, we're almost there, folks. We'll be on the ground. Oh, wait a minute, that's the wrong gate. We'll be pulling into the MK site here momentarily. On behalf of your entire train operating crew, we hope you've enjoyed riding with us today here on the Cane Creek subdivision. We know that when it comes to your virtual dirt moving situations, that you have different options, and we're glad that you picked us today. Leave the front door open. It's good. Get back with all your stuff still in your house. Your mate's sitting on the sofa waiting for you. I've never experienced that either. I don't believe, to be honest. But I get it. Some people live in places like that. That's pretty cool. Alright, let me just double check to make sure there's no switches that have to be thrown. Nope, it's all automatic. Good deal. The main engineer has turned on the no numpty sign as we approach into MK siding. If you're feeling numpty, please have a seat and buckle in. So the tricky part on this one is we got to go all the way down, and then there's a it's like a barrier right there at the end. We don't want to run through that, otherwise we're going to fail the surface here. I don't think these are going to fill as we go through. No, I think that's a different situation. It would be like we would have to run to the other end, change locomotives, and then pull through, and all this would be loaded up, and we'd take it somewhere else. Right up to the stop marker. We can't stop short. Good enough. All right.